Hey guys, welcome back to Disney Coffee and Book Talk. Happy Easter! So, as you guys already know, I already posted our annotation video. Right now, we're going to do Easter egg video, and it is the holiday of Easter. So, what a better way to celebrate with Simpsons biblical stories? This is season 10, episode 18. Yeah, we're going to go through some of the Bible. Not really what I had in mind for Easter, but I couldn't find the Easter eggs uh, for what I wanted to do. So this is what we're rolling out today. All right. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Easter, having fun, spending time with your family. Anyway, I will say I would not recognize myself as a very religious person. I'm more spiritual. Um, if you guys have been following me or if you haven't, just a reminder, I grew up with my father being Christian, non-practicing, my mom being Jewish, sort of non-practicing, me pagan, but we celebrate everything. Anyway, um here are the Bible stories according to the Simpsons. So let's roll it out. The Simpsons. Da-na-na. Okay, so as I said in our intro, we are doing the Simpsons. Simpsons biblical stories. Again, this is season 10, episode 18, and we start off with the Simpsons in church. As you can see from this first Easter egg, literally talking about Easter. According to this church sign, Jesus died Easter eggs for your sins. That's not true, but whatever. We're rolling with it. So as we can see, it is Easter. They are in church. Those that are Christian, Catholic will celebrate Easter, typically go to church. All right. Now, according to this church, you're not allowed to have a chocolate bunny, which Homer decided he found in the dumpster to put in the collection plate, and that caused their priest to go through the Bible. My gosh, yeah, thank God, never had to sit through that. But people do it. People can be very strict. Anyway, we are going to start with Adam and Eve. So here we see Marge as Eve, and we see Homer as Adam. Weird, but okay, it works. So anyway, this is Marge's dream, and they are in the Garden of Eden as, like I said, Adam and Eve. And so they learn about God, and God gives Marge, or Eve, I should say, People magazine with Adam and Eve, and he tells them, do not eat the apples from that tree, right? It is forbidden fruit. But we have the snake that comes down. Adam starts eating it and finally convinces Eve to try, gets Eve kicked out. Here we have. And then trying to get her back in, he gets kicked out. So that is the end of the dream. I'm trying to keep this relatively short. But yeah, I don't really want to go too deep into these Bible stories because that's going to be too much. But I just thought it would be fun to show some stuff. Then we move on to the next book, right? They went through the first book of 66 of the Bible. Now they're going into the story of Moses. So here we have the little kids as the Israelites. They're aka the slaves. They're supposed to be building the pyramids for the Pharaoh and how they get mistreated. Like I said, I'm doing this fairly quickly for you guys. We have the burning tree, the burning bush tree, which tells it's supposed to like give up the anyway, I forget the whole thing. Anyway, so Moses brings on the plagues, and that is how they're supposed to get by. They cross the Red Sea and then 40 years into the desert. All right, let me just say this before we move forward into the next story. If you want the truth, okay, behind some of these things, right? You really want to research without having a heavy dose of, well, you should have like a heavy dose of skepticism, right? I would highly suggest, highly, watching Expedition Unknown. And the Moses story is season 10, episode 11, called The Mysteries of Moses. And Josh Gates and the professionals that are talking about this, the archaeologists and stuff, and he does have other episodes regarding, um, the Israelites and other parts of the Bible, but most of his are like recent archaeological finds, so just keep that in mind. He does go through the seven plagues, and they explain how the actual phenomenon happened and how it's possible that it happened. Okay, which I actually found really fascinating as someone who has a heavy dose of skepticism regarding the Bible. Um, but I'm also very intrigued because not necessarily the Moses story, and I will say again, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. If you've ever heard, I'm sure you guys have heard, Noah's Ark, right? It rained for 40 days and 40 nights and blah, blah, blah. There's always some sort of story about a huge flood in every single part of the world in regards to ancient history. So it really is kind of fascinating that all of these like different religions and different nationalities, history, sort, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like there's something about it that makes me feel like something's got to be giving. Something's got to be true, right? Um but anyway, again, heavy dose of skepticism, but again, if you want the actual history, highly advise that. This is just for fun. I thought it was funny that they used these quote unquote updated toilets, right, to um, flush out the Red Sea so that they could cross. And then also that the Pharaoh was eating frog legs. All right, that being said, we're going to move on to the next part of our what do you call it? Our episode. Now, this segment was pretty quick. We have Homer's dream where he is King Solomon. He basically gets to eat a pie, deals with disputes, and we do see Jesus Christ in a what do you call it? A suit. Anyway, it was really quick, easy, whatever. Then we're going to move on to Bart's dream. Now, in Bart's dream, it is David versus Goliath, or Goliath 2, technically. He, as you can see, slayed Goliath, but now he's got to deal with the son, Goliath 2. So he is King David in Jerusalem in 1970 BC. He finds out that Goliath 2 killed his friends, and so he's going to become the first superhero action figure. And so he's training with the sheep. He goes to the Tower of Babel. He fights Goliath 2 and wins. And that's when he finds out that Goliath 2 was actually a pretty good guy. He actually helped the people build the roads, the libraries, and the hospitals. So then they wake up, right? Nobody's at church. They walk out of church and they're like, oh my gosh. And the rapture is happening. The apocalypse, which we see the 4 deadly horsemen, right? And so the Simpsons family minus Lisa are supposed to go to hell. Lisa's supposed to go up to heaven, but she doesn't because Homer. So they end up going down, and that's when it ends with Highway to Hell. Okay, sorry, I can't sing. But anyway, that is the end. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you very soon. If you haven't already, go ahead and give me a like. should be over here. I'm sorry, I'm like mirrored. Um, you can go ahead and subscribe and press the bell button and go ahead and comment what your favorite part of this was, because I was just in shock, I guess is my best way to put it. Anyway, have a happy Easter, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I have a book review. No, tomorrow I will have another Easter egg video, hopefully, and then Tuesday we'll definitely have a book review. So I'll see you guys later.